Hello everybody, Dr. Strife here, bringing you a new video. Today, we're talking about Guilty Gear Strive yet again, and there's going to be plenty of Strive content on the channel, but I want to share my own review on the game, my thoughts, and everything like that. So this game was purchased by me, so I just want to throw that little disclaimer out there. So this is going to be my unbiased opinion on Guilty Gear Strive and what I think of the game itself. So, the graphics have definitely seen a big improvement. They look great, they animate fantastic. These guys know how to take 3D animation and make it look 2D and make it look crisp, clean, and oh so delicious. And of course, you can't have Guilty Gear without the music, right? Guilty Gear Strive has the same great music that you've come to expect. Now, there are a few tracks in this version that are a little bit hit or miss. Some of them are really good bangers, and there's like maybe a handful that I would say not that great in my opinion, but you know, music is a subjective kind of thing. But overall, though, I think they did a really good job. And if you do want, you can play a fishing minigame to unlock more music for the characters from classic Guilty Gear games. The stages and environments also look fantastic. I forgot to mention that earlier. They look really good, really sharp, and they're also unique and varied, and shows how crazy of a world the Guilty Gear universe truly is. Also, the English voice cast is here, and I've been listening to them a lot. You do have the classic Japanese voice cast that sounds great. You know them, you love them. But the English voice cast too is also really fantastic here. I mean, sure, there might be a couple of awkward deliveries, but that happens in a lot of anime games. Not for sure why that is, but you know, there are a couple of moments, but I really do enjoy the cast here, and I think they really do a good job of bringing these characters to life. Also, let's talk about the online. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way, because this is the biggest thing, right? This is the reason why most people are here. People want to go online, they either want to play with their friends, they want to rank up, and get to the highest platform, which is the Heavenly Floor. And the neat thing about this ranking system is that you have to climb this tower all the way to the top. And if you climb the top, you can rank up to an even, well, not a higher level per se, but you get to stay on that level and basically be kind of like one of the many Guilty Gear gods of the game. So what happens is you get to this floor, and then you challenge a couple people. If you don't lose those matches, basically you get to stay up there for a certain period of time. I don't know how long it is exactly. I've heard a month, but I can't confirm that. But yeah, we'll see how long that goes. But once you're there, you're pretty much a VIP. And that's the rank you want to get, is that VIP status. But there's also player rooms. If you don't care about that, you can even create your own private rooms for you and your friends. So if you want to do that, that's there too, and that's all great. Now, the lobby system's a little weird because it is a room with these little pixel avatars that you can decorate, and you can play that fishing minigame again to unlock more stuff. A lot of the stuff that is tied behind that is through the fishing minigame, so, and you can use it to unlock all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about spending a ton. There will be DLC, probably for sure. There's already a Season 1 pass, which will get you some characters and some other stuff. But, I mean, this is one way to unlock a bunch of stuff in the game without having to really have to worry about it. So I think that's pretty neat. And the online fighting itself is using that new, delicious rollback netcode everybody's talking about. So yeah, rollback's been here for a while, but a lot of games, especially Japanese fighting games, have not really used this or implemented this in their games. But here in Guilty Gear Strive, they have implemented it, and implemented it well they did. Because it feels so good to fight online. Even with the worst of connections, it doesn't feel like you're playing underwater. Now granted, there are times that it gets hiccupy real bad, and it's just not very fun to play, and you probably won't play those people again. But you will find that most of the experiences are pretty enjoyable, even if you're playing somebody from across the ocean. That's right, matches work that good. Of course, depends on the internet connection, of course. Nothing can fix truly a horrible connection, but it can make playing connections that may not be the best, much more tolerable, and dare I say even enjoyable. And the gameplay here, while it is changed, and some people have really thrown a stink about this, because Guilty Gear has never been one of the more easier franchises to get into. It has a lot of mechanics and stuff you need to learn and master. And here, while there are still some mechanics you need to learn and master, don't think that you can just button spam away and auto combo your way to victory. In fact, there's not even auto combos here. You actually have to learn some combos, but a lot of moves are more heavy damaging than they used to be. So that means matches do last a little less time. What you want to focus on is trying to learn some basic combos, and basic combos can do damage. Also, there's this mechanic now where you can get a character up against the wall, and you can even push them so far into it that they can break through it and fall to the other side, which will give you a positive bonus for your character, on top of dealing a little extra damage to your foe. Let's talk about the different modes. There's a survival mode, there's of course the online battles versus CPU, your training mode, which we'll get into more training and learning stuff here in just a minute, but let me talk about that arcade mode real quick. You might be saying, it's arcade mode, what's so special about it? Well, one of the interesting things is when you go through it, you can have one of two events happen. One that's happened to me, and the other one I'm wanting to go and experience, and who knows, maybe a video on it possibly. But one of the experiences you'll get is, depending on how you play, you either get an experience where you and another character tag up against an enemy, defeat them, or you will go solo against a super tough boss. And that just sounds very exciting. So it makes you want to replay the arcade mode and try to see if you can get the different outcomes. So depending on how you play can determine whether or not you get to face the ultra powerful boss itself. And for the training type modes, other than the basic vanilla training mode you get in a lot of games, which is very in-depth if you really want to get into it and kind of get the meat and potatoes and learn how to do some sick shit, you also can play this other mode, which will teach you how to do a lot of basic stuff in the Guilty Gear games and even teach you more advanced skills that can help you out. While sadly there's no character tutorials that I found that can teach you some basic combo strings of characters and even some cool combos you can learn, which I feel like is sorely missed here, and maybe they could add it in an update or even DLC for that matter, hopefully. But this is also a good primer to get you started and to get you trained, so that way you can have more tools in your tool set when it comes to fighting people, maybe online or even in person. And lastly, we'll talk about the story mode. The story mode is really fun, but it's just a big cinematic. So think of it kind of like the big, flashy Mortal Kombat type story, except you don't have random fights sprinkled in between. So yeah, it's definitely just a movie. But if you're caught up on your Guilty Gear lore, and you watched a bunch of videos online like I did to get interested, like the Wooly Versus videos that you see online, it's going to be a much easier time to understand it. Guilty Gear lore is very complicated, but there is some fun to be found here. Though I will say you'll probably get more enjoyment and not be as confused if you brush up a little bit on it. Not to say I wasn't confused, but I was less confused if I didn't know some of the stuff. My final verdict on this game is that you must play it. There is some shortcomings, like some of the online connectivity issues. Sometimes it's not as easy getting into matches, though once you get into matches it's really fun, and it plays super well. So hopefully they can fix that very soon. Story mode is really just a video. While I enjoyed it, it is, at the end of the day, just a video, which they did in the previous title, and some of the tracks are a bit hit or miss, but everything else in this package is just creme de la creme of fighting games, and I feel like Arc System Works here, despite some of its detractors here, I think they made a really awesome game, and this is a game that I don't want to put down anytime soon. And speaking of which, it's a very busy month for games, especially with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Getting that update as I'm recording it just came out, and I'm updating it myself. So by this time video's out, I'm probably already playing a little bit of it. But I'm not going to abandon Guilty Gear though, because I'm still wanting to play more of it too. So anyways, I'm going to shut up. This has gone on longer than normal, but I've had a lot to say about Strife. So let me know what you think. Are you playing Strife? Are you interested in picking it up? Let me know. And who do you main, or who do you want to play? So let me know in those comments down below. Make sure to subscribe if you like what we're doing here and want more. So anyways, till next time everybody, game on.